presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Last night, the Oakland offense came to life, slugging 4 home runs, while the Rays' last gasp rally came up short of the ninth, and the A's came away 6-3 winners. Tonight, right-hander Matt Andriese goes to the hill, looking to stop Tampa Bay's 4-game slide. After last night's frustrating 6-3 loss, tonight the Rays and the A's will square off in Game 2 of this 3-game series and the 3-game homestand. Fans are looking good in the Rays fedoras, set for action tonight here at Tropicana Field. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays dropped last night's game, and they're going to hand the baseball to Matt Andriese, who came in and pitched so well against the Angels on that last road trip.
Well, listen, the call was placed, and Matt Andriese answered, and he answered in a big way. Came up ready to go, coming off of a great performance in AAA, and followed that up with an outstanding ball game in Anaheim against the Angels. 7 innings. He gave up just a 1 earned run. Now, he did walk 3 guys, but he pounded the strike zone when he needed to. He did all of this on just 91 pitches, averaging 13 pitches an inning. Showed the ability to elevate the fastball and a very good hard curveball to go along with his cutter and change.
When the Rays lost 5-2 to the Seattle Mariners on Monday, they lost more than just a game. The news is not good about arguably the best player on the team this year, Logan Forsythe, and back with details, Todd Callis.
tonight at Tropicana Field as the Rays try to snap a 4-game losing streak tonight against the Oakland Athletics. They'll do so with Matt Andriese on the mound against Kendall Graveman for the A's. It will be a little more difficult, though, to snap out of the doldrums because one of the key players for the Rays is missing. Logan Forsythe, as consistent a hitter as there's been in the lineup all year long, plus that great D at second base, solid base running. He goes on the DL today. He was hit by a pitch earlier in the week by Felix Hernandez. He has a hairline fracture of the left shoulder blade. You can see his numbers on the season. The corresponding move, the Rays will move to an 8-man bullpen now. Danny Farquhar, the right-hander who we saw earlier, back from AAA Durham. Here is Logan on the prognosis for his return.
Just got to let it rest, like any bone. I think timeline is we're going to reevaluate in 3 weeks from the initial injury. So from Monday, 3 weeks from there, we're going to try to do another scan and see if the bone is started to heal or has started to heal. Then we're going to move to baseball activities from there.
Steve Pearce, the versatile one, gets a chance to start tonight at second base in the lineup against a right-hand starter for the A's. We'll get you ready for baseball. It's the Rays and the A's, the middle game of a weekend series right around the corner on Fox Sports Sun.
Tonight at Tropicana Field, Matt Andriese goes to the hill trying to snap this 4-game losing streak. The longest streak of the year for the Rays. First time they've dropped 4 in a row since July of last year. And it is the 26-year-old right-hander going to the hill tonight for the Rays. Here is the starting lineup he will face, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Billy Burns will lead it off, followed by Yonder Alonso, Josh Reddick, Andy Valencia hits cleanup, and then Stephen Vogt. Chris Davis is in left tonight. Marcus Semien hits 7th, Chris Coughlin 8th. Matt McBride will do the catching. He'll bat 9th.
Well, and for Matt Andriese, the encore to his last start, at first start of the season here with the Rays, he went 7 strong against the Angels. And I guess if there was one way or one word used to describe Matt Andriese, it would be fearless. This guy is going to attack the zone. He's going to attack the hitter. Could care less what the name on the back of the jersey is. The man fears no one.
Well, he's a lot more confident, and he's stretched out more than when we saw him most of the time last night. He had multiple stints with the Rays last year, up and down between the big leagues and the minor leagues. And the first pitch of this game tonight is a strike call. Fastball in around the knees. The pitch taken by Billy Burns. Two. Well, Burns had that extended at bat in the first inning last night, hitting second. A 14 pitch at bat. The count never went any deeper than a ball and 2 strikes. And he singled. Fouls this one.
Did he foul that off after it hit the dirt?
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah. Or didn't even foul off into fair territory, but that ball looked like it bounced first.
Andriese comes down and tags him, and that's a strikeout. Bob Melvin wants to come out here and discuss this with Mark Carlson.
It hits Billy Burns right here. Watch. Into the ground off his leg. Boom.
So they're going to have a conference to try to square this one away.
Yeah, that seems pretty cut and dry. Curveball down in the zone, fouled it right into the dirt off the shin of Billy Burns while he's still in the box. This is pretty simple here.
Carlson asking for help if anybody else saw anything. Bob Melvin, the manager of the A's, probably had the best view of anybody in the ballpark. And we had the best replay, as we normally do, given the talented crew.
Oh, and you know what? And the thing is, oh, they did get it. They called him out. And you can't replay because it happened short of the bases.
Yep.
Wow, got away with one there.
No one else on the umpiring crew saw it.
Well, all this means is we'll have to expand replay now. We'll get more of it.
First baseman, number 17, Yonder.
Well, that's one of the few times you'll see the pitcher get the put out on the strikeout. Now the first pitch to the first baseman, Yonder Alonso, is a ball. Andriese eventually came down and tagged the hitter Burns.
So they called that a strikeout. So they called no contact at all.
Yeah,
swing and a miss.
It's a strikeout. Yeah, it's a K1.
Wow, that's even worse. It's one thing if it hit the bat, ends up in fair territory, but you call that a strikeout on top of it.
All right, well, we're going to find out to make sure. 2-1. It might just be strictly a 1 unassisted. It could be that.
The lesser of two evils.
2-2. In any case, the initial announcement is that the putout goes to the pitcher. Could be interpreted one of 2 ways, but it could be just a 1 unassisted.
It should have been a foul ball.
There's a swing and a miss. Alonso out on strikes. 2 gone. There's the first strikeout for Andriese.
Well, let's take a look at that Rays defense here and see how it's going to line up tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Corey Dickerson, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. And across that infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Brad Miller, Steve Pearce, and Logan Morrison with Hank Conger behind the plate.
Bases empty, 2 gone. Now Josh Reddick in the box. Pitches a strike. Well, our GMC big matchup. Reddick has been swinging a very hot bat. Strike 1 and 2.
Tell you what, heavy on the cutter here early on for Matt Andriese, and he's been very good with it. 87, 88 miles an hour.
Two and two.
You know, Hank Conger wanted that fastball up in the zone, climb the ladder. That was something that we saw Matt use very effectively against the Angels. The elevated fastball. Big pitch in the Rays organization.
Count holds at 2 and 2.
It's funny how an organizational philosophy, you know, for the longest time, and it still is, it was the changeup kind of led the way. And now all of a sudden the elevated fastball, and we're not only seeing it with the Rays, but throughout baseball. Letter high heaters that hitters just cannot seem to lay off of and don't have much success against.
Still a 2-2 count. Andriese coming off that great outing against the Angels, and we spotted it there. He carries himself, I think, with more confidence than we saw last year when he was back and forth between the Rays and the minor leagues. You almost get the feeling that he knows he belongs here.
Yeah, I mean, his mound presence is night and day compared to a season ago. And we, like you said, one start in, but just the way that he, you know, I mean, commands the mound, takes the signs, delivers with conviction.
Facing a hot hitter in Reddick, full count on him.
He started last year with the Rays, and he was in that in-between role. Didn't get a lot of work early.
High fly ball, right center. Souza there to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 first. Home half of the inning coming, no score. Half of the first inning tonight. Their starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealer. Brandon Geyer's going to lead it off, followed by Brad Miller, and then Evan Longoria. Corey Dickerson in the cleanup spot, hitting ahead of Steven Souza Jr., then Logan Morrison, followed by Steve Pearce at second, hitting seventh. Kevin Kiermaier and Hank Conger in the 8th and 9th spots. All against Kendall Graveman. Ground ball. This is Simeon, the shortstop, and the throw scooped by Alonso. One gone.
Well, that's what Kendall Graveman wants. A lot of ground balls to his infielders, wants to keep the ball on the ground. And for him, it's been a story of basically two halves. First 3 starts of the season for Kendall, 1-1 with a 2.04 and a 159 average against. The last 3 starts, 0-3, a 10.54, and he's given up 25 hits in his last 14 innings.
Pitch is away. Miller hitting .204 on the year. It's 1-1.
Really the same arsenal that you're going to see Matt Andriese with: fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup.
Two and one. We are getting word that scoring on Billy Burns was on a ground ball, unassisted by the pitcher for now, but they're checking to see which way they want to score that. Any way they wind up scoring it, it will not reflect reality.
That I was going to say, so when you check that and you see what we saw, what do you go with?
Ball is tapped up the first base side, foul.
You know what I say we call it? Because this is, you can call this in baseball. I just say we go with indifference. He's out on indifference. You get fake stolen bases on indifference. We'll just give that out, indifference. No one cared. You're out.
There's a strike call, and Miller is caught looking. He's not happy on that pitch. He thought it was wide.
Now let's go ahead and set the Oakland defense for you. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source in the outfield, left to right. Chris Davis, Billy Burns, and Josh Reddick across the infield, third to first. Danny Valencia, Marcus Semien, Chris Coughlin, and Yonder Alonso with Matt McBride behind the dish.
So 2 gone. Evan Longoria. A ball, no strikes. Evan starts the night hitting .233 with 6 home runs. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Two and one. Three-one count. Right back out of play, and the count goes full. Two popped up, back a third, foul, and Valencia makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. Scoreless through 1. Night at the ballpark. The Rays and the Oakland A's move into inning number 2. Matt Andriese with a 1-2-3 first inning. He'll face Danny Valencia, the cleanup hitter, to open the second. And Vogt and Davis. First pitch is a strike. Now to play. 2. Well, a big home run night last night for Oakland, including 2 by Danny Valencia. First inning shot to left, and then in the 6th inning he hit one out to right field.
Well, he's been limited this year with some injuries. Keep him out of a few games here and there. Only 18 games played on the season. He's hit safely in 15 of them, but last night was the first time he's left the yard, and we know he's got big power.
Well, a great opportunity for him in Oakland. For a long time seen as a platoon player, out on strikes. That pitch moving away from him.
And that's why, the struggling against right-handed pitching, he absolutely has improved in that area, and that's why he's getting an opportunity to play more. But watch Matt Andriese cut that ball at 89 miles an hour, and that actually covers a lot of ground. We've seen a short cutter, that being a little bit wider. Boy, it's nice to be able to play with the break like that.
He'll do some interesting things with the baseball out there, and he will tell you sometimes he's not really sure which way it's going to break.
Well, that's especially true with that changeup.
First pitch to Vogt, strike call. Yeah, that could be a good thing and sometimes not so good.
If you're the catcher, it's not a good thing. The whole thing with the changeup, and as long as the arm action is good, that's what you're trying to get them to do. You're trying to get them to commit and swing at the arm action. Now, if the ball darts one way or the other, that's where the catcher comes into play. He's got to be able to cover both of them. Not real easy.
Here's Pierce at second, taking care of that one, and Vogt is the second out. 2 up and 2 down.
But I think if I'm the pitcher and I'm not sure what way this ball's going to dart, well, then the hitter can't either. I don't know which way it's going. He can't possibly know.
And the catcher's going, gee, thanks.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Well, Chris Davis. Davis hit his 8th home run of the year last night. Under this one, lofts it into right. Souza tracking it and making the catch. And a quick second inning. 1-2-3. No score through an inning and a half. Half of inning 2. Kids 14 and under can slug home runs, just like Evan Longoria and Steven Souza Jr. with their very own plastic bat and ball set presented by Chevrolet. Plastic bat and ball set given away to youngsters when the Rays take on the A's here tomorrow while supplies last. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit baseball.com. Rays up. Corey Dickerson, the cleanup hitter in tonight's lineup, takes the first pitch and it's too low. Dickerson, then Souza Jr. and Morrison. Dickerson with 8 home runs. And you can see the difference so far. Limited at bats as an outfielder, but the average much better than his time as a DH. He's adjusting to that DH role coming over from the National League. 2-1.
And that's why it's interesting tonight. Kevin Cash giving Dickerson the start and left and taking Brandon Guyer and making him the DH, getting him involved in the game in a fuller capacity, really. See if that gets him going.
2-2, and Dickerson has talked about that. Not that he said he doesn't want to do it. Either way, he wants to get his swings and his at bats. But he admits it's a new experience for him and one that he's trying to find the comfort zone as the DH.
Well, how often?
Shot to right field. That's got some carry. Over the glove of REDDICK and off the wall. Dickerson heads for third. He's going to make that ball loose on the infield. And Corey Dickerson has a 3-base hit.
Well, similar pitch to what he swung and missed at. This one he doesn't. He gets the barrel to it. It looked like it had a chance to get out of here. You're going to watch Josh Reddick track it all the way back. It gets over top of him off the top of that padding, and then he's got to circle all the way back. Once you commit to that, off balance, you miss it, it's going to bound away, and that lets Corey Dickerson get all the way to third.
So the leadoff man's at third. Dickerson over there. Steven Souza Jr. up here with a chance to put the Rays out in front. Great opportunity early. It's a strike on the outside corner. Rays picking up their second triple of the year. The other one belongs to Logan Forsythe, who, as we discussed earlier, is going to be missing from the Rays lineup, it would seem, for at least 3 to 4 weeks, and you have to wait to speculate beyond that, but they're talking about 4 weeks. 1-1 now, the count to Souza Jr. Two balls and a strike. Souza hitting .261, and like Dickerson before him, has 8 home runs. Three and one. It's been a rough go recently for Graveman. It's Logan Morrison on deck. Graveman gave up 6 runs in 2 2/3 to Baltimore. It was his last outing on the 8th, and he walks Souza Jr. Well, here's the breakout first 3, last 3 that you referenced earlier, BA. What a contrast.
Yeah, and he's had trouble keeping the ball in the yard. The game that you just mentioned against Baltimore, those 2+ innings, gave up 4 home runs. So it's been command issues not so much outside the zone, but command issues within the zone. A lot of pitches catching the heart of the plate.
In another game, his last outing in April against the Tigers when he gave up 3 home runs in one game. Here's Logan Morrison, and that's a strike. Kevin Cash talking about the absence of Forsythe and the need to get Logan Morrison going, and he's got Steve Pearce in there following Morrison in the lineup at second base, saying we're going to probably see a lot of Morrison and Pearce.
Well, and it makes sense because, you know, with that injury to Logan Forsythe, Logan Morrison, you know, you get him out there, try to get him into a rhythm once again, get him going. Steve Pearce has been too productive to take out of the lineup. You know, that even brings you over to Dickerson Geyer, how they, you know, mix their playing time because they've been productive.
2-1 to count on Morrison. First and third with nobody out. There's no question it's been a tough start for Morrison. And he's handled it about as well as you could expect anyone to handle it. He's not happy about it. 2-2. In fact, still looking for his first run batted in. This would be a great time to get it.
Yes, it would. Thinking about it right there, just a little bit too far. You know, never easy to be in the situation that Logan is in, but nary an excuse.
Souza Jr. diving back to the backside of the bag. Now the count is full. Graveman came to Oakland from the Toronto Blue Jays. He was part of the Josh Donaldson deal. Full up to Logan Morrison. And he walked it. Well, the bases are loaded now for the Rays with nobody out. Building an opportunity for a great inning. Our Toyota inside look. Entering tonight, the Rays this year with men in scoring position hitting .208, and in the last 4 games, 4 of 30.
Well, at some point, you've got to break out of that. Great opportunity here. Kendall Graveman, really everybody in the starting rotation outside of Rich Hill, and he even had some command issues last night. Really, really struggling as of late. And in the second inning, trouble finding the strike zone consistently. Rays with a big opportunity.
Steve Pearce, and he takes the pitch for a ball. Pearce hitting .316 with men in scoring position. One of the exceptions in this Rays lineup in these situations. And Graveman's going to get an early visit now with the bases loaded and nobody out in the second inning. Kurt Young, the pitching coach.
Well, you know, the Rays took 7 walks last night. That was a season high. We know how aggressive this offense has been. So to walk them 7 times in a ball game, and already 2 tonight, missing early, missing often, and giving the Rays good counts to work with.
Dickerson opened with a triple and walks to Souza Jr. and Morrison. Line drive down to second, not in time there. Diving back in, Steven Souza Jr. And he's a little slow in getting up, but apparently he's all right. Pierce hit the ball hard, but Valencia was there to catch it.
What's with the bases loaded, scorching line drives to Danny Valencia? Last night it was Evan Longoria in the 9th. Tonight it's Steve Pierce here in the 2nd. Yes. You can understand that frustration. That ball was roped.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Ball one. Well, here's the ball that Longoria hit last night, and that one could have made it all the way to the corner if Valencia doesn't make that play. Now 2-0 the count. Big opportunity for the Rays to break out in front early. Two and one.
That disappeared. That was a hard cutter by Kendall Graveman. Watch this thing just take off at the end. Right underneath the swing.
Well, it was that pitch that got him a quick ticket to the major leagues 2 years ago in 2014. Working on various pitches while in the minor leagues. He was in Dunedin part of that year and suddenly found that he could throw the cutter. And before he knew it, he wound up that year in the big leagues.
Pretty good find.
Soft fly ball into left. That's going to be caught in left by Davis, and the throw back to second, and Souza is doubled off, and the Rays, who had the bases loaded and nobody out, get a big zero out of that opportunity. And here's the double play. Souza had no chance. Davis seemed to be unaware and left, and finally got the ball back to second to complete the double play. Only 2 innings in, and boy, the things we've seen already. First pitch in the 3rd. Marcus Semien takes the pitch for a ball. Souza Jr. doubled off second and went 7-4 on the fly ball off Kiermaier's bat into short left. It was caught by Davis. And Davis seemed to be dumbfounded out there in left, wondering if something had happened that he didn't anticipate could ever happen.
No, especially the way that you see him throw the ball back in, just kind of lollipopped it, like just wasn't really sure what was going on. Can't believe he's that far off the bag. And, you know, you wonder really what Steven Souza Jr. saw or didn't see. You know, initially the ball off the bat, Corey Dickerson started to race home. And if Souza Jr.'s looking at him and assuming, okay, he's bolting, I got to bolt, but then all of a sudden Corey pulled up, headed back to third. By then it was too late for Souza Jr. He was already there.
Simeon lifts a fly ball to Souza Jr. and Raidu makes the catch. Well, there was an element there of that little pop fly that appeared that it might fall in, but then Davis, shallow anyway, was there to make the catch.
Yeah, I just
talk about a confused base runner and a confused left fielder and an unbelieving hitter.
You could see, he could read his lips, get back. Souza Jr. committed, and you wonder what he was looking at. That ball off the bat, you've got to know that that ball's going to get down, obviously, before you go. Unless you're looking too far ahead.
Ball one to Chris Coghlan.
Any way you cut it, bases loaded, nobody out. To come up empty, beyond frustrating for everybody in this building except that dugout.
Two balls and a strike. There's some strange things early. On deck is Matt McBride, who's catching tonight. Two and two. Coghlan 0 for 4 last night with a couple strikeouts. Popped into shallow left. It's Dickerson making the catch. So 2 up, 2 down in the third. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Matt McBride stepping in for the first time in an Oakland uniform. He has seen some big league time in the National League with the Colorado Rockies. 30-year-old catcher, and the pitch is a strike. Into center field, cutting across to play it on one big hop is Kiermaier. He gets the ball back towards second, and McBride has a hit.
Looked like that was the cutter from Matt Andriese, and Matt McBride just easy stroke. Some just kind of easy swing, doesn't overdo it. And able to drop that ball out into left center field.
Well, here's the top of the order, Billy Burns. One strike. So Andres working out of the stretch here with McBride aboard on the 2-out single. It's a strike, 0-2. Burns retired in the first on that controversial play, and the scorers eventually did good word in terms of how the umpires made that call. It was not a strikeout, it was one unassisted, as in a ground ball out. Either choice, as we mentioned at the time, did not reflect reality. A call made by Mark Carlson, the plate umpire, with Oakland manager Bob Melvin looking straight on. And in the conference the umpires had, no one else saw it any differently, and so the call remained what it was and went into the book as a one unassisted. Andres actually tagged Burns, but it was in reality a foul ball. Now he's hit by a pitch, and that's going to push McBride up to second.
Now Matt Andres has been throwing that cutter with varying degrees of cut, and that one a little bit too far, and it just tracks in right off of Billy Burns.
And now with 2 away, Oakland with a bit of a scoring threat. McBride, the catcher, at second. Yonder Alonso, the hitter. Pops it up. Foul ball. Conger's after it, and he makes the catch over in front of the Oakland dugout. Bottom of the third coming. No score. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Lazy Days RV, your RV authority. By Jeep, visit Jeep.com. By St. Luke's Cataract and Laser Institute, world-class care right in Tampa Bay. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And Conger leads off the home half of inning 3. Ball, no strikes. Graveman fortunate to get out of that second inning with no runs scored. It's a foul ball. And as he opened this inning here in the third, he had still thrown more pitches out of the strike zone than in. Graveman gave up a triple and 2 walks and somehow got out of that. 2-1. On deck, Brandon Guyer. Lifted into left center. Davis takes care of that. One gone in the third. Let's check in with Rich Hollenberg right now. Rich?
Thanks, Dwayne. Brandon Guyer coming up to bat. We're lucky that he's even in the lineup at all when you consider what happened last night. Hit by a pitch for a major league leading 12th time, and this might have been the scariest of all 12, right above the right wrist. But luckily, I talked to Brandon today. He said it hit him on the meaty part of the hand, so just a little bruising, nothing more. And you could expect to see a lot more Brandon Guyer in the lineup and in the leadoff spot now that Logan Forsythe is on the DL, guys.
All right, well, Guyer takes this pitch as it cuts away. 1-0. 12 times he's been hit by a pitch. Guyer takes that one for a strike. As a result, his on base percentage coming into this game, .455. And he's on this time. Into the corner it goes for extra bases. He'll turn second and stop there. Well, the one thing we're learning with Davis in left, if you get a chance to run on him, it'd probably be a good idea.
And if you watched Brandon Guyer between first and second base, you know, the Rays players are very well aware of that too. Goes out and gets that cutter, something Graveman has been going to early and often. And because of the ground that he had to cover and the arm, look at Brandon Guyer right there. He's already thinking maybe 3. Okay, now you're going to force me back to second base. That's fine, but you're right. They're going to challenge him.
Brad Miller looks at a strike at the knees. So another scoring opportunity presenting itself to the Rays. 2. Rays were 2 for 12 last night with men in scoring position. And as we discussed earlier, one of them was that line shot in the 9th inning with the bases loaded that Longoria hit. As hard as he's going to hit a ball, and Valencia made the play down at third. Blocked by the catcher McBride.
And he got lucky with that block too. It looked like an off-speed pitch in the dirt, and McBride, instead of rolling the glove over and trying to smother that, he tried to backhand that ball. Getting fortunate that it didn't bounce away.
I'm surprised to see catchers do that. Sometimes maybe you get caught where you don't want to be, and it's a desperation move.
And that may have been the case there because it looked like it was a cutter that kind of backed up a little bit. And so he's anticipating it in one part of the strike zone. But regardless, that glove got down late, backhanded. Fortunately, the shin guard came into play. Well, Rays have a runner at third.
Miller shoots it deep. Right center field. Carey. Gone. Home run for Miller. Fifth home run of the year for Brad Miller. And it gives the Rays a 2-0 lead.
This is a slight peek into the issues with Kendall Graveman. He gets a lot of ground balls because he works down in the strike zone. But guess what? He only works down in the strike zone. He never changes a hitter's eye level. So you stay down there, they start to zero in. That pitch, middle of the plate, but that's below the knees. But Brad Miller's like, this is where he's throwing. He's throwing from thigh to below the knees. I'm going to look down. I got one down, and I got enough to lift it.
Yeah, you could make a case that that pitch was down out of the strike zone down.
Yes. But that's the issue. He'll get tons of ground balls because he works down there, but he's also telling everybody in the building, I'm only going to work down there. I'm never going to force you to deal with pitches up in the zone. And that's why he's given up, well, a lot of ground balls and a lot of home runs. Usually
Longoria chops out to third.
You usually don't see those go together. Guys that are a big ground ball guy usually keep the ball in the yard. He's had an issue with that.
Yeah, that's 10 home runs in under 35 innings.
There you go. Every once in a while, you can want to get guys out by throwing pitches down in the zone, but to get them off of that, you've got to change their eye level every now and then go right back downstairs. Same way with you want to get guys out, away, that's fine, but every once in a while you got to pitch them in to get them off that.
Corey Dickerson tripled his first time. Well, the Rays have 3 hits. They've all been extra base hits. They have a triple from Dickerson, the double by Geyer, and the home run by Miller, and a couple of walks. (2-0).
And I think all the hits have been off the cutter. Dickerson, Geyer, and then of course Brad Miller. They have been.
Two balls and a strike. This one is headed to Simeon, the shortstop. So Dickerson is retired. The Rays are as well. But they come up with 2 on a double by Geyer and the home run off the bat of Brad Miller. Through 3, the Rays lead 2-0. Summer, some of the biggest names in soccer converge on the U.S. for the 100th anniversary of one of the world's biggest tournaments. Coverage of the Copa America Centenario begins June 3rd across the networks of Fox Sports. Josh Reddick leading off the 4th takes the pitch outside for a ball. Reddick with a 1-1 count. Danny Valencia next, and then Stephen Vogt. One ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Rays have the shift on for Reddick. So they still see him as a pull guy, but he has hit the ball to the off field a little bit more this year, but not enough to adjust that shift. But that hits by direction 9 to left now.
The only, when you dig deeper into that, how many of the 9 are in the air as opposed to on the ground? Because in the air, nothing the shift was going to do anyway, or not shift.
There's one into left center field. Dickerson goes back to the edge of the turf on the track, and he makes the catch. That is the first out. Support your favorite Rays player by voting with the Assurance All-Star Game ballot at RaysBaseball.com/vote. Vote up to 5 times a day to get Evan Longoria, Logan Forsythe, Kevin Kiermaier, and the rest of the Rays to the All-Star Game. Vote early, vote often, vote Rays. Go to RaysBaseball.com/vote now. Danny Valencia, first pitch is a strike. Reese was aggressive in his start against the Angels, and he's pitched that way tonight so far against the A's.
I like the mix so far. Enough of the fastballs, the cutter, change up here or there as you see the shift on Valencia on the left side.
He lifts it into right center, and Souza Jr. takes care of that one.
Yeah, he's used that cutter effectively to get outs, but he's also used it to set up, his regular traditional fastball. And you could see some of the reactions from these hitters almost expecting cutter, when they get the two-seamer, a little bit of run to it. So right now he's got this Oakland lineup back on their heels a little bit.
Two up, two down for Stephen Vogt. Ball, no strikes. It's in there, 1-1. Andriese had a number of ground balls in that outing against the Angels. If you take away the one that Burns was retired on in the first, Vogt is the only out recorded on a ground ball. That was to second base. His first time up in the second inning. It's a ball, 2 strikes. The other way, out of play. Holds the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vogt can see a lot of pitches up there. He can be patient. Fly ball into left. Dickerson back. He's got the range and makes the catch. 3 fly ball outs. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. 2-0 Rays. great moment. Remember when Tropicana Field had the beach upstairs and left? On this day in 2000, Jose Canseco hit a mammoth blast up there to the beach out in left field of David Wells. There it is today.
Just one palm tree left.
Just a little memento out there. Swing and a miss by Steven Souza Jr. Strike one. One, our crack staff doing some research to find out that during that day, right here, witnessing it, two of the umpires in this crew, Brian Gorman and Mike DeMuro, were working that day, making sure that ball was indeed fair and out of here. And the two umpires who are second generation Major League umpires. You mentioned last night Brian's dad Tom was an umpire. Lou DeMuro was an umpire as well, and Mike wears his number 16. Back to the mound off the bat of Souza Jr. He tossed him plenty of time. That's the first out. Well, now Logan Morrison. Well, the Rays lead 2-0 on the home run by Brad Miller. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the second. Morrison drew a walk to load the bases, and the Rays did not score.
Well, they did get that big home run from Brad Miller in the third to give them the lead, and now you go about building upon that lead.
Liner into center field. That's going to stay up for Burns. And Morrison is out number 2 on the line drive. Let's check in with Todd Callis right now.
Dwayne, thank you. With the versatility of Steve Pearce, it was funny how he originally played second base for the Baltimore Orioles last year. They had some injuries early in the season. It was the home series, if you remember, here when the Baltimore Orioles were the home team at Tropicana Field, where he made his second base debut. J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope, Ryan Flaherty had injuries. Buck Showalter said, hey, have you ever played second base? He said, no. He said, do you think you can? He said, yeah, why not? A couple days later, he was out there in a big league game for the first time, guys.
Yeah, and we may see him a lot more out there now that Logan Forsythe is gone for 4 weeks or thereabouts.
Well, and that goes back to the trust that Buck Showalter has in Steve Pearce and his preparedness. And the fact that he knows that this was a guy, if you ask him to do something, he's going to accept the challenge. He obviously thought beforehand, before he asked him, that had the idea that he could play a little bit of second base, and it's proven to be true. It's a tough break for Logan, tough break for the Rays and their fans.
Yeah, hairline fracture after being hit by a pitch thrown from Felix Hernandez.
It must have caught him, I mean, just in the right way to do that.
Well, here it is again up in Seattle.
Should make that the wrong way. You can tell right there, he's favoring it right there. Wasn't even using it to run, and then trouble working that thing around in the field. The next half inning had to come out.
A strike to Pearce. The count is full. Yeah, disappointing for Logan and for the Rays. Down to third. Valencia's throw is high off the bag. Pearce got in under the attempted tag. Boy, that's some heads up. Pearce hustling it all the way as he does and got down on that high throw.
You know, Steve Pearce is looking at nothing more than first base, but when he sees Alonso come off the bag and go up for the throw, he goes high, you go low. And once again, the Oakland A's, the worst defense in Major League Baseball, and it proves it again right there. That was the heads up, no doubt about it. See Alonso go up, Pearce goes down, and the tag misses.
6th error already on Valencia.
This is his 19th game.
Tapper by Kiermaier is foul.
That has been something, you know, that was an issue for this team last year. They were the worst team defensively by every metric out there. They're the worst team defensively in Major League Baseball this year by every metric out there. And we've seen some shoddy defense already through the first game and a half of this series.
You see the error breakdown, 27. And that tops the list. Down to first. Alonso steps on the bag. An error and a man left. No runs. We're through 4. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Raymond Upton's hijinks here tonight. Top of the 5th, 2-0 Rays lead. Our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale, as we discussed last night, 8-0 with a 167. And Jackie Bradley Jr., part of that red-hot Boston Red Sox offense. Look at that, a 20-game hitting streak. Red Sox beat Houston today at Fenway 6-5. Bradley up to 336 is average. Davis with a comebacker on the 2nd pitch of the inning, and he's retired here in the 5th.
Number 10, Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien. It's a cut at the fastball, fouling it back, strike 1. Look at 2. Red Sox are now 23-14. ball, 2 strikes.
I like the deception that Matt Andriese gives these hitters. You know, watch him where he lines up. He lines up over on the first base side of the rubber, and then the landing foot is going to land over on the third base side of the rubber. A little bit of cross body action. Creates some deception. You see how he can ride that fastball away. It makes the cutter effective. Allows him to hide the baseball.
Cutting the miss. Simeon out on strikes.
And the way that he's been able to manipulate the cut on the cutter. Here he is, first base side, land over there near the third base side, throw that cutter, get some depth on it. That's more, well, that was that changeup. You know what, Dwayne, that, you know, that looked like a slider in real time. As you saw the grip there, that was that changeup where they're never sure it's going to dart in, dart straight down, or tail. Well, that
is a deceptive pitch.
That's filthy because you can see on the grip. But you know what? A lot of that has to do with the way he delivers the baseball, that across the body, and the ball coming off those last 3 fingers. That one cut a little bit, and that pitch is dirty.
Yeah, that's sort of a combination, changeup and cutter.
Yeah. Well, that's yikes.
We'd heard it referred to as a hybrid changeup. I asked Jim Hickey about that, and he says, yeah, it's a changeup that you never know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Well, and you can see, and a hard changeup.
It was 86. It looked like a, you know, in real time live, you would have said, okay, that's a slider, or he just got on top of his cutter and got some depth to it. Then you watch it, and you're like, oh my.
Over the mound, out to short. Miller's there with the throw to first. 3 up and 3 down. We're heading into the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Rays. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Here we go into the bottom of the 5th inning with the Rays holding a 2-0 lead. And Conger taking the first pitch for a ball. Rays facing Kendall Graveman tonight. Lifted to the left side. Davis has a lot of ground to cover. Can he get there? And he does. He is not all that steady out there in left field, but made the catch.
Long way to run. That ball high a tough roof to deal with if you're not used to it.
And it all adds up to this right here.
A little dicey at the end.
Cutting the miss by the top of the batting order now, Brandon Guyer. Guyer doubled in front of the home run by Brad Miller in the 3rd inning. Simeon with the pickup and the throw on the move. Guyer's the 2nd out. Brad Miller, who had 2 home runs on the last road trip, connected in the 3rd for this 2-run shot.
Went down and got a cutter. Boy, did he get it. That was a shot, line drive out to right center field, gave the Rays the lead. And, you know, it came after that half inning where the Rays, or it came after the inning where the Rays had bases loaded, nobody out, frustrating. He gets them on the board.
Now gets ahead in the count, 2-0. And they're around the knees. 2-1. 7 Longoria. Hoping to get a chance to hit in this inning. A little tapper picked up by Graveman, and they flip to first. Up and down in order go the Rays. Through 5, 2-0 Tampa Bay. Rays have a 2-0 lead. Both runs coming on the Brad Miller home run in the 3rd inning. His 5th home run of the year. And Matt Andriese making his 2nd start since his recall. Has 5 shutout innings under his belt.
The line says it all. He's given up 1 hit. He's been in complete control, command of all his pitches, some of which we're guessing at. At least I'm guessing at.
It's part of the secret of his success.
Yeah. I mean, he's been really good with the cutter. He's used it to get outs. He's used it to set up the fastball. We got a glimpse of that changeup, slow-mo, close-up, and see the action on that pitch. That's nasty.
Upstairs, 1-1. Matt McBride has the hit. That was a line single into center field off Andriese in the 3rd. One and 2. The only other base runner was Burns, who was hit by a pitch right after the base hit by McBride. Fastball foul back. So 7 in a row retired since Burns was hit by a pitch. High pop fly toward the line and left. Dickerson out from shortstop is Miller. A nice play by Miller getting out there to take care of that high pop-up.
Well, it's been a lot of balls in the air off of Matt Andriese, but it's because timing screwed up. Balls getting in on hitters, off the end of the bat, soft fly balls.
Xavier Cedeno tossing a few in the bullpen. So Andriese had made 66 pitches through 5 tonight.
Yeah, let's hope that Xavier Cedeno is just kidding.
A little leisure activity down there, a few tosses.
Yeah, just in case.
Burns back to the hill, and Andriese throws him out. So 2 quick outs in the 6th. Just over 70 pitches now. 2 outs into the 6th inning.
Well, that's what we've seen from Matt Andriese. You know, that start against the Angels, he went 7 innings on 91 pitches. That's 13 per. Very efficient. Doesn't waste a whole lot of time.
Yonder Alonso. He's 0 for 2. Alonso had a 3-hit night last night. After a slow start, he's been swinging the bat extremely well. Takes the first pitch strike. It's 1-1. Ball. Pierce 4-3 takes care of Alonso. 3 up, 3 down. We're headed into the bottom of the 6th of the Rays, leading 2-0. Well, the Rays have a 2-0 lead coming into hit in the bottom of the 6th inning, so they'll wrap up the short homestand tomorrow, then head to Toronto and Detroit, Miami back on the 25th for a short homestand again, 2 against Miami and 3 against the New York Yankees. Having Longoria with a big cut and a foul ball, and then out on the road again for a 3-city trip: Kansas City, Minnesota, and then Arizona.
Challenging to say the least.
Rays will do some traveling during this next month. In a stretch right now of what, 14 out of 17 away from home. There's a base hit, line through the hole. Longoria makes a big turn where the Rays look for any opportunity. When the ball's hit to left, they're looking for any opportunity to take an extra base.
It looked like Evan was going to try to cut there at about 85 feet. He wanted to get to second so bad. The ball runs right back into him. He's able to get the hands down and through the baseball. And look at him, already thinking, let me try to challenge. Everybody, you're right, think of that extra 90 feet.
Leadoff hitter aboard for the 2nd time in this game for the Rays. And here's Corey Dickerson, who has a triple in 2 trips. And that's fouled back. Rays have 4 hits as a team. They've now hit for the cycle. Dickerson had a triple. Geyer had a double. Miller a home run, and Longoria a single now to go with a couple of walks, and they have 2 runs. Dickerson getting time from Mark Carlson. One. Kendall Graveman on the hill. Graveman 25 years old. It's 1-2. Junior on deck. Dickerson here at the plate. Corey out of Meridian, Mississippi. Graveman went to college at Mississippi State. Still the ball, 2 strikes.
Well, after Corey Dickerson was able to get that cutter and shoot that ball out to right field off the top of the wall, you can see Graveman now staying away from him with the sinker. You just wonder if he's got him swinging out there far enough now that you try to pop one back in. Everything away, away and off.
Dickerson fouls it. And Corey Dickerson, I'm going to say he comes to the plate in swing mode, but that's true of the Rays lineup pretty much all year. It has been an aggressive bunch. Runner at first, nobody out. Longoria draws a peg over there. There's a foul ball.
There it goes again. Little thumb guard, little rubber pad.
A lot going on there before, during, and after the swing. Big backswing.
That's how violent that swing can be. And you're right, he finishes deep, usually with one arm. Top hand coming off the bat. How many times have we seen the backswing clip a catcher's mask?
Runner goes. Pitch lifted into left. Davis is there to make the catch. And Evan heads back to first. One on with one out. Join the Rays and the Baseball Tomorrow Fund by donating new or used equipment at Tropicana Field tomorrow when the Rays take on the A's. All fans who donate receive a voucher for one complimentary ticket to a future Rays game. For more information, visit RaysBaseball.com/playball. Steven Souza Jr. Down to third, and it skips past Valencia, trying to backhand it. Ball down toward the bullpen. Longoria goes to third. Souza Jr. winds up at second. Second and third with one out.
Well, that was going to be a tough hop backhand for Danny Valencia. Kind of an in-between hop to the backhand side and not able to come up with it. And then it just glances off the glove right here. And then it's out in no man's land.
That will go as a double for Souza Jr. 6th of the year. And an RB opportunity for Logan Forsythe. Logan has walked and lined to center. Longoria at third, Souza Jr. at second.
Infield not all the way in, but definitely shading in.
Morrison takes ball one. Morrison has now gone 80 at bats without a run batted in. 2-0. The longest the Rays have ever had a hitter without a run batted in terms of official at bats. Jose Molina with 87. And now they're going to walk Morrison intentionally with a 2-0 count. And Steve Pearce due up. Well, Pearce, with the bases loaded in the second inning, blistered a line drive to third. There's the intentional walk. So the Rays load the bases with one out in the 6th inning for Steve Pearce. Pearce, the line drive to third in the second and then reached on the Valencia error in the 4th.
Remember the reaction on the line out with the bases juiced.
Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes.
He was absolutely livid, hit that ball so hard, and now has a chance. Well, another chance.
Strike. Fly ball into right. Reddick is there to make the catch. Tag. Longoria heads to the plate. The throw's not in time. And the Rays get another run to make it 3-0. Pearce lifting a fly ball into right. It's his 13th run batted in.
Now got it deep enough. Evan Longoria able to get in. The Rays tack on.
Reddick is the one arm that they have in the outfield. But it was deep enough, and Longoria scores the run.
Yeah, that was not a bad throw at all from where he was positioned, and really almost catching that ball flat-footed. Didn't have a lot of momentum working towards home plate, but it was deep enough.
Kevin Kiermaier will be the hitter. Andrew Triggs up in the bullpen. One ball, no strikes. Erasmo Ramirez up for the Rays. Strike on the outside edge. And 0 for 2 night so far for Kevin. He's 2 for his last 23 right now. We'll put him behind in the count. 1-2.
Up right to the bottom of the zone. We've seen a number of these called strikes right at the knees, maybe even a hair below. But Mark Carlson pretty consistent down there.
Yeah, he's known for the low strike. 2-2.
Well, and certainly Kendall Graveman has given him
every opportunity
to see everything down.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes that pitch that some pitchers like to get up a little bit, he's a little reluctant to call that a strike, but down in the strike zone he's pretty consistent with the strike call. Count is full now. You know, that's just the human element in this game that's really so good about it. You wouldn't think how antiseptic it would be without an umpire back there calling balls and strikes. Might appeal to some folks.
I was trying to figure out how to word that.
Ground ball up the middle. Bates hit into center. Soja Jr. crosses the plate. Well, the Rays having an inning here.
The full count helps and gets the runners in motion. Kevin Kiermaier doesn't try to do too much. We're going to just go out and get that pitch, put it in play, finds a hole. Rays find another run.
It's a 4-0 ball game. Here it is as Kiermaier got it through the middle. His 9th run batted in. That's going to be it for Kendall Graveman. Back in a moment. NASCAR heads to the Monster Mile at Dover with its Sprint Cup Series racing, and Jimmy Johnson looks to defend his title from last year. It's at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Kiermaier's base hit drives in the 4th run, 5 2/3 for Graveman, allowing 6 hits, 4 runs, couple of men on as he departs. 3 walks, 1 an intentional pass with a strikeout. Gave up a home run to Brad Miller. Made 101 pitches. And gives way to Andrew Triggs. Makes his 5th appearance, facing Hank Conger right now. Goes Kiermaier. The pitch is a strike, a breaking ball, and a steal for Kiermaier. There's 6 for Kevin.
Aggressive with the lead, a good jump, slow delivery time to the plate, and no chance to get Kiermaier.
Side, quick with that fastball after that slow curve. That fastball looked a little harder than it might have been.
Well, and when you look at the deception that is brought here by Triggs, across the body, deceptive arm angle, he ran that ball. That about took the rays right off of the front of Conger's jersey. We see this more and more. Guys coming out of the pen with the funky arm angles.
And McBride and Triggs will get together. 2nd and 3rd. Kiermaier had a couple of stolen bases on that last road trip, and now 1 tonight. Giving him 6 of 8 in that department. Two balls and a strike. Triggs spent last year at Double-A in the Baltimore system. Oakland claimed him on waivers this past spring from Baltimore. Little number, 3rd base line. Foul ball picked up in foul territory by Valencia. Advancing the count to 2-2. Conger comes back to the plate.
Confusing everybody at the Trop.
Well, Morrison came racing home. And he's back at 3rd. Kiermaier back at 2nd. Triggs last worked in a game 3 days ago at Boston, 1 inning, and gave up a run. And he strikes out Conger. Started him with a curveball, finishes him with a curveball. We're through 6. Rays lead 4-0. On to the 7th inning. Matt Andriese on the hill tonight for the Rays. The Quicken Loans rocket arms. Andriese just 1 hit, no walks. Hit a man and has given Oakland little else.
Yeah, he's been in complete control. A lot of poor contact, soft fly balls. Started to get into the ground ball act the last half, and Matt Andriese has been outstanding here tonight for the Rays.
Well, Matt started the game by retiring the first 80 face, gave up the hit to McBride. He's now retired 10 in a row, and he faces the middle of the order. Josh Reddick taking the first pitch for ball 1. Reddick, Valencia, and Vogt due up. Into center field, Kiermaier is going to be there and make the catch. Ran under the ball and made a little leaping grab.
Now, you know, he hasn't had a ton of action here tonight, so listen, got energy to burn. So get over there, line it up, and why not?
Feeling just a bit frisky.
Yeah, I like it.
Danny Valencia. Pitch up and by Valencia. The fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. Erasmo Ramirez up again in the bullpen. One and two. Pitches for Andriese. Ground ball, that's going to go through. That goes through where the second baseman normally would have been, with Pierce pulled over just to the other side of the bag, and Valencia has a base hit.
Well, and for Danny Valencia, you'll give him that. Here's Steve Pierce, over here's Brad Miller. You've got all this room on the other side. Logan Morrison well off the bag, but he stays inside it and just hits a 3-4 hopper over for a base hit.
Well, there's Stephen Vogt. Strike. Andriese working here in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch count right now, riding at 82. Made 91 pitches in 7 innings Sunday against the Angels. Struck out 3, walked 3, gave up a run on 4 hits. Foul ball, runs the count to 2 strikes. Foul. 1 on, 1 out in the 7th inning. 10 of the outs have been recorded on balls hit into the air. And against the Angels, he had 3 ground ball double plays in that game.
Made pitches when he needed to, and he has shown the ability to get those ground balls. Could use one right here. Strikeout or ground ball.
This one is caught on a line by Pierce. Down to first, double play. That's a great catch. And then he had time to get the throw away and double up Valencia. And the A's not sure whether they want to have this one looked at or not. Nope, he was out on the line. Double play. Well, 3 ground ball double plays against the Angels, and there's a line drive double play. Works the same way.
Steve Pearce getting that opportunity out there at second base. A nice diving catch.
Rays lead this one 4-0. Hitting. Another look at this handiwork of Steve Pearce.
You know, it's one thing to make the catch. It's another to scramble and get the throw off as quickly as possible. Believe that.
Pitcher's best friend, no matter how you accomplish a double play. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Top of the order. Here's Brandon Guyer. The pitch is a strike. Matt Andriese with 85 pitches through 7 tonight. Andrew Triggs on in relief of Kendall Graveman. And the breaking ball way wide. Two and one. Rays lead it 4-0. Detroit and Baltimore in the middle of the 4th. In Baltimore, no score. Toronto and Texas about to get underway. And a shot to center field. Burns going back, however, and he makes the catch. Guyer hit the ball hard. Lines to center.
Seems to do that a lot.
Well, you have to really like what you've seen from Guyer. Every time he gets a chance to play, he's doing something positive.
Oh, and that's earned him more time. He just, you know, he's a guy right now, as you look to increase offense, you can't take him out of the lineup.
And Brad Miller. That's a strike. Miller with his 5th home run of the year and the 3rd. Rays with 47 home runs as a team. They're 3rd in home runs, but last in runs scored. Stayed wide, a curveball.
Well, that's the situational hitting that we're talking about. You'd like to see him increase their on-base percentage. That's one of the lowest in the game, really, and the American League. But when they do get their opportunities, you think about the bases loaded, nobody out. I mean, Steve Pearce, all you can do is hit the ball hard. Evan Longoria last night, all you can do is hit the ball hard. But there have been many other opportunities in similar situations where it's been the punch out, not even giving yourself a chance. And those are the ones that hurt the most, especially because this team plays an awful lot of close games.
Three and one. Speaking of hitting the ball hard, let's go back to the third when Miller took this one just a few inches off the dirt and lined it into the seats. Headed to Simeon at shortstop. 2 outs. Base is empty for Evan Longoria now in the bottom of the 7th inning.
You know, Brad Miller really reminds you of a left-handed hitting Steve Souza Jr. in the sense of this: when they hit a ball hard, the sound coming off the bat is distinct. I mean, Brad Miller's home runs, his gappers have that sound, that crisp wood. I mean, just that crack. Same thing with Souza Jr. You can tell when those guys catch one clean.
Strike one on the foul ball. Oh, Charlie's trying to be the good guy. 1-1. There's another opportunity there. Put it in that webbing and close it. And then get as far away from the field as possible.
Yeah, did not show well there. A couple of drops on the toss.
Two balls and a strike. Ground ball. It's foul. You can see Triggs stepping across his body with that delivery.
As a right-handed hitter, you've got to be disciplined to stay in there and realize he's got to throw to the same strike zone as everybody else because he's stepping across his body. He's already on the third base side of the rubber. With cross body action and a low arm angle, tall and lanky, that pitch looks like it's coming from shortstop.
Well, a full count. Dickerson on deck. Liner into center. There's a base hit. 3-2 fastball. Longoria's going to go for 2, and he's going to make it. Second hit of the night for Evan. Well, with 2 outs, he gets himself into scoring position with his 11th double of the year.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a single for a lot of guys. Line drive out there. You make Billy Burns move a little bit, but by no means did you think double off the bat. Look at the hustle. Evan's thinking double all the way.
And you know, that really goes to the scouting reports and his heads-up baseball.
Effort, you know? That Kevin Kiermaier style of getting out of the box with a full head of steam. We've seen it take hold. We've seen Evan doing it. We've seen Souza Jr. doing it. Put the pressure on the defense. Maybe you get yourself an extra base.
Well, you get Dickerson up here with a man in scoring position.
Except, well, that's true, but Dickerson's in scoring position.
That's right. As long as he's up there with the bat in his hands, he's in scoring position.
Oh, but you're right. You give yourself more opportunities. You got to figure the odds are more opportunities, more times you're going to be able to cash in.
And he's under this one. Sends a fly ball to Reddick toward the line and right. And the Rays are retired in the 7th, leaving a man On to the 8th, 4-0 Tampa Bay. Through 7 innings tonight at the Trop, the Rays have their Pandoras in a row, leading 4-0. Matt Andriese has pitched extremely well, allowing just 2 hits and a hit batter. And the first pitch to Chris Davis, foul back, strike 1. Davis with a fly ball to right. Get a ground ball back to the mound. One and one. Big cut and a miss. 1 and 2. Marcus Semien is on deck. And a cut and a miss. Boy, a fastball right there. That might have been the best fastball he's thrown tonight to open the 8th inning.
You know, he's used that cutter to set up that fastball at times, and we saw it during this at bat. Some cutters early and then power the fastball by him. That's that elevated heater that we saw a few times out in Anaheim that was so effective. And there, again, Chris Davis, a lot of power, just overpowers him.
And how about that pitch? Breaking ball to start Semien.
Now you're just showing off. That's all this is. You feel like, you know, you're in the zone. Things are going well. Everything feels good coming out of the hand.
And there's a grab by Pierce again. Throw to Burns. Another nice play by Steve Pierce. He was on the shortstop side of second. And he makes a fine play to get Semien.
Yeah, right up the middle. That ball hit hard up the middle. Watch Steve Pierce to his left. It's pretty.
Well, that's 91 pitches for Andriese tonight. You know, one of the differences is he's up here stretched out because he'd been starting at AAA, but that's only the beginning of the difference we're seeing in this young man. He is throwing the ball very well. It's Coughlin. Pitch outside, 1-0.
You know, he got an opportunity with the Rays last year. He got to pitch some out of the bullpen. He picked up a couple of saves. He got some starts. He did a lot of different things for this team, a lot of different situations. You go home and reevaluate in the offseason about your previous year, and you realize, hey, my stuff plays in the big leagues. I'm a big league pitcher. And you come in, you know that opportunity is going to present itself at some time, and he has just taken a chokehold on this the last week. Came up in Anaheim, got to pitch in front of his mom for the first time ever in the big leagues.
Yep.
Deals in that game on Mother's Day.
Yeah, you can't get much better than that.
And then has come out, against a team that's been flexing its muscles. We talked about him in the pregame show. This offense, the last 8 games, hitting almost 300 as a team, averaging almost 5.5 runs a game as a team, and completely stymied here tonight.
High fly ball into center. Kiermaier is there waiting on this one. He's got it. 3 up and 3 down. 8 shutout innings from Matt Andriese. 4-0 Rays. Rays Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Matt Andriese spot on tonight. Rays lead 4-0. They've out-hit Oakland 7-2. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with Steven Souza Jr. leading it off. Been on twice with a walk and a double. 1 strike as he fouls the breaking ball away. Andrew Triggs in relief of Graveman. Mark Zipchinski, veteran lefty, is loosening in the bullpen. Ground ball by the mound, and Coughlin will take care of this. Well, you look at what Andriese has done tonight. He's had 6 1-2-3 innings. He's only had 2 3-ball counts. Retired 11 in a row down the middle after starting the game, retiring 8 straight. No walks and 4 strikeouts.
Well, that's the thing. He hasn't walked anybody. You talked about the fact that very few 3-ball counts, but he hasn't been blowing guys away either with the strikeout. Just early contact, use your defense. A lot of it's been poor contact. A couple of hard hit balls and a couple of balls on the ground. That's been it. He's been really, really impressive.
1-1 the count to Logan Morrison. Bullpen quiet.
Well, it better be. You get too many opportunities like this. I mean, maybe you get someone up when the inning starts just in case things start to unravel quickly. But yeah, this is his game to try and finish.
2-1. Yeah, that's the starting pitcher in you.
Yeah, well, you listen, 8 shutout.
Yep.
I mean, how many times do you get put in this position?
Well, he's earned it.
That's right. And he's done it efficiently. That's the thing. Just hasn't wasted a lot of time, hasn't wasted any effort. He's just gone out with the idea of he obviously feels good on the mound right now with his stuff, with his command. Fastball's been good, the cutter's been good, the curveball's been good, the changeup, the ones that he's gone to have been good. And so you've got confidence in 4 pitches and the ability to locate. It's a pretty good formula.
The count's full on Logan Morrison. Logan walked in the 2nd. Had a hit 2-0 in the 6th, then they walked him intentionally. Breaking ball started wide and was breaking toward the plate. Morrison fouled it. Steve Pearce on deck. He's driven in a run and made 2 outstanding plays in the field tonight. And he walks for the 3rd time. 1 on, 1 out. Tomorrow, the Rays wrap up this homestand, a 3-gamer. And on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers, it will be Kids Sunday. And that includes a hitting demo from Corey Dickerson. Matt Moore will be on the mound tomorrow for the Rays. Broken bat, ground ball, 3rd base side, down to 2nd. They get the force on Morrison as Pearce and his bat explode on him. Valencia picking up the barrel into the bat that's left. So Morrison forced at 2nd on a fielder's choice. Kevin Kiermaier is due up, and we're going to have a pitching change. They want the left-hander.
In the bottom of the 8th, and the Rays leading 4-0 And coming up immediately following this game, we'll have Rays Live, the post-game show, where, of course, we'll be talking about Matt Andries' spectacular performance. We'll hear from Brad Miller with his 2-run home run. Steve Pearce, outstanding at second base in place of the injured Logan Forsythe. All that, plus Kevin Cash's press conference. Todd and O from the left field perch. That's Rays Live, the post-game, brought to you by Checkers, coming up immediately following the game, guys.
Thank you very much. Mark Zipchenski, the veteran left-hander. It's his 19th appearance on to face Kevin Kiermaier. Pearce at first on a fielder's choice. It's a ball. Nothing. So Graveman, the starter. Triggs followed him. Officially worked 2 innings. Three 3-0.
Trouble finding the strike zone here. Chipsinski. Hank Conger on deck. Rays looking to and hoping to add to this 4-run lead.
And a walk. Kiermaier heads to first. 4-pitch walk. Nick Conger turn around to hit from the right side. Conger 0 for 3 is a left-handed hitter tonight. It's a big uppercut swing and misses. Rays scored 2 runs in the 3rd on a home run by Brad Miller and got 2 in the 6th inning. Pearce, a sacrifice fly, driving in a run, and Kiermaier's base hit drove in a run. They are the base runners now. Pearce second and Kiermaier at first. Two balls and a strike the count. Top of the order would be next. Brandon Guyer. Big cut to miss, 2-2. Two, the count. Here we go. Full count now. Kiermaier walked on 4 pitches against Zipchenski, and now a full count on Hank Conger.
Runners in motion.
Runners go, and it's ball 4. So the bases are going to be loaded. A couple of walks from the veteran lefty.
Yeah, Mark Chemsinski, I'll tell you, a rough go of it here his last couple of outings. You know, he pitched in all 3 of those games against, well, actually his last 3 games against Baltimore, 2 against Boston in that series. His last outing he came into with a 1.38 earned run average, and he faced 3 hitters, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, didn't record an out, and then now comes out here tonight, his first 2 hitters, he walks.
And he faces the right-handed bat of Geyer.
Yeah, confidence.
And misses.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's missed consistently. Confidence level obviously down. And he really hasn't been close on a lot of these pitches.
And you're not sure how good that conversation was with McBride going out there. Zipchinski just not in the mood.
No, you know, because mentally you're searching. You're searching, and you hear words, probably not a lot of it taking hold.
1-1.
And that's the thing. There's nowhere to hide. You've got to find a way. You know, as a pitcher struggling with command, you've got to figure it out most of the time on your own in the heat of battle.
Two balls and a strike. Geyer doubled in front of the Brad Miller home run in the 3rd. There's ball 3. Well off the plate. 3-1.
And nobody going in that bullpen for Oakland. This is Chepsinski's out to get.
Ground ball through the left side base hit. Pierce scores. Kiermaier races to the plate. 2 more runs are home. The Rays up now 6-0. Brandon Geyer drives in a pair. Conger stopped at second on Geyer's base hit.
Now you put yourself in bad counts, and typically bad things are going to happen. 3-1 count after 2 walks, and Brandon Geyer hammers one. This time getting it by Valencia. Rays do add to that lead.
Brad Miller. One run charge to Triggs. And the other one to Zipchinski. Giving up 2 walks and a base hit. First pitch strike into Miller. Rays got 4 off Graveman in 5 2/3. And a run off Triggs in 2 innings, and one of these runs charged to Zipchinski. It's a strike. 0-2. Alex Colomé had been loosening, and now Danny Farquhar, who's just back from Durham, he got the call with Forsythe going on the DL, an extra arm in that bullpen. So Farquhar is loosening. Miller, did he go? He held up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right on the edge.
Knock, knock.
Conger at second, Geyer at first. And it's 2-2. close. The count goes full.
Mark Carlson, notorious for the down strike. You know, Chip Sinski wanted that one.
Ground ball handled by Coughlin. The Rays are out in the 8th inning, but they add 2 runs. We're going to head into the 9th, and so will Matt Andriese. Matt Andriese, through 8 innings, has made 96 pitches, 70 strikes, and only 26 pitches out of the strike zone. How about that for a breakout?
That is fantastic. That is the epitome of efficiency.
Matt McBride leads it off, and the first pitch is a called strike. Fly ball toward the line and right. Souza Jr.'s there, and he makes the catch. Made it just inside the line for the first out. Andriese had a complete game at Durham this year, but that was a 6-inning complete game, part of a doubleheader in which the Durham Bulls lost. He is 1 out into the 9th inning and has given up no runs on 2 hits here against Oakland tonight. Now the top of the order, Billy Burns. To this point, he's faced only 2 hitters over the minimum. Foul ball, strike 1. Fly ball right field. Souza back on this one. He's got that one in the little leap. So he kind of Kiermaier that one a little bit.
It's contagious.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. He's looking over at his center fielder there, going, "Hey, how about that?"
Yeah.
Wait, that's my act. Oh, what do you mean? I can do that.
That's exactly what's going on. Look, there's the hop.
Oh yeah. Great little exchange. Well, 2 gone in the 9th inning. Yonder Alonso. And the pitch is a strike. This crowd of 28,158 on Fedora night getting a little extra here in this performance by Matt Andriese. Upstairs, now 1-1. For the first time, he might have shown just a little bit of coming out of his delivery there on that high fastball. He's made 102 pitches. We'll give him one. Oh, and right back with that.
Well, he gets right back in. It doesn't overthrow, goes back to the cutter, and you can understand the adrenaline rush. You're a couple of pitches away from a potential shutout, and now just one.
A 1-2 count. Up and away, 2-2.
That's the elevated fastball that right now just overthrowing a hair. Still just a 2-2 count. You can hardly blame him.
Ray's staff with 2 shutouts this year. They've been combination shutouts. Andriese trying to finish this one alone. Oh, a foul ball back. Fastball, 94 on that one.
Well, this is where you get to that point where in your mind you're saying, I'm going to empty the tank. Everything I've got left into every pitch, because this could be the final pitch.
The 2-2. He got it! Struck him out! Complete game shutout. Matt Andriese goes the distance. Faces just 2 men over the minimum. 29 up, 27 down. And the Rays win this one 6-0 on a 2-hitter by Matt Andriese. And what a job by the 26-year-old right-hander.
But you just can't say enough about the job that Matt Andriese did. He showed that he was in complete control early on. Rays built a lead. He allowed him to extend that lead, and what a special night for Matt.
And here's the final pitch of the night. And why not? A dandy. He's used that pitch all night. Oh, 1-2-3, 9th inning. 106 pitches for Andriese after that impressive start he made against the Angels in Anaheim. Even better here tonight against Oakland. The timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. And that timeless moment, the totality of this complete game shutout, the first of his major league career.
Well, pitching with an extreme amount of confidence, and right now for Matt Andriese, all the pitches working. The fastball's good, the cutter's good, the curveball, the changeup, all of it. Listen, it's doing exactly what he wants it to do. He's commanding the zone, commanding the mound, commanding this game.
Well, a big night for Matt Andriese, leading the Rays to a 6-0 victory. Tom Callis standing by with the young right-hander right now.
Dwayne, thank you. Matt, the last time you threw a shutout was?
I can't even remember. Probably college, honestly. I think it was college, but man, this is a great feeling right now, and yeah, I'm just glad we won, you know?
What was going through your mind? You saw bullpen action up. You get the big double play from Pierce to end that 1 inning. What's going through your mind? It was a long bottom half of the 8th.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we tacked on some runs right there, and you know, I'm just happy they let me out there, and I know we had the bullpen working in the 6th, 7th inning, but you know, our offense gave us a little blow right there and gave me the opportunity to finish all 9.
So you go 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Angels. Today, how's that feel after 9 innings of
What's that?
How's that feel after being out there?
Feels good. I'm pretty exhausted, so.
Yeah, I mean, mentally, physically, I've got to think, because you've never gone 9 innings before. 8 innings was your longest stint in the minor leagues. What was it like to go out there, and was adrenaline a big factor late in the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think the adrenaline is pumping there. You know, I've never thrown, obviously, a complete game in the minor league or professional career, so I think, you know, I pride myself off of going deep in the games, and, you know, I just gave my team the opportunity to win today.
29 batters you face. We're going to look at the 27th out, and tell me what's going through your mind as you see this.
I don't know. I was pretty pumped up right there. I had the adrenaline going. I was hoping one more pitch, and you know, I threw a pretty good change up there, and it's pretty fired up.
2016 versus 2015, and look at the guys coming out of the dugout. I know we talked about this before your start. You're a lot more comfortable, and they're letting you go deeper into games now.
Yeah, and like I said, after the first game, build a confidence, and I just kind of carried that over into today, and you know, I just wanted to go deep in that game, and you know, it worked out. And I give a lot of credit to Hank too and my defense. You know, they did a great job.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Congratulations.
Thank you,
guys. Back to you.
All right, Todd. Thank you. Only one runner reached second base en route to this 2-hit shutout for Matt Andriese. He is the story tonight as the Rays find the win column, defeating Oakland 6-0. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. With you tomorrow, our coverage begins at 12:30 to wrap up the series. Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, comes your way next.